About 3 hours north of Port-au-Prince, the Artibonite Valley is the center of Haiti's rice production. This season, farmer Charles Souffouad is storing his rice rather than selling it. He says the earthquake relief effort produced a glut that pushed down prices. If he sells now, he says he'll lose money.
Food aid is never good for us. As a farmer, I'm one of the first affected. You can't send that to a country where that's what they grow.
Souffouad says if he can't sell his rice, he won't have money to buy seeds for next season. And because he supplies about 50 neighbors with seeds, their next season will be affected too. The entire supply chain can be affected, from farmers to wholesalers to merchants selling rice in local markets.
They hardly buy from me because they're giving out so much free rice.
Food is one of the most urgent needs in a humanitarian crisis. But these cases illustrate that when donors bring in food, those who make a living growing and selling food can suffer. Brooke Isham directs the Food for Peace program at the U.S. Agency for International Development.
There is a risk, definitely, and we are very aware of that, and that is why we are always looking at the impact of food aid on local markets and whether it is depressing prices in those markets.
The UN World Food Programme's Etienne Labonde says, as of March, research shows food aid did not cause major disruptions in Haiti's economy.
I don't know. Maybe it's an impression, but it's not the facts at the moment.
Whether impression or fact, Haitian President René Préval raised the issue when he came to Washington last month. He said food aid was indispensable right after the earthquake, but he asked donors to scale back.
If we continue to send food and water from abroad, it will compete with the national production of Haiti and with Haitian trade.
Donors have agreed to scale back, but experts say donors can help the needy and national production if they buy food for humanitarian aid locally rather than importing it. The European Union, Canada, and the World Food Programme buy locally when possible, says Mark Cohen with the advocacy group Oxfam.
But really, the United States, which is the largest provider of food aid, is lagging a little bit behind the curve of good practice in food aid.
U.S. food aid consists almost entirely of American grain. Cohen says that started in the 1950s.
And we had what in those days were called burdensome surpluses of food. So food aid was first and foremost a mechanism to get rid of those surpluses.
Congress is considering legislation to allow U.S. food aid to be bought locally. Meanwhile, in Haiti, many donor agencies are pursuing another strategy to avoid market disruption. They're creating jobs so Haitian people can buy their own food. Many of these jobs, it's hoped, will create benefits for farmers too, according to USAID's Brooke Isham.
Refurbishing canals, agricultural ditches, that sort of thing.
The question now is whether there will be enough jobs so Haitians can support themselves, or whether the country will again face the dilemma of food aid. Steve Baragona, VOA News, Washington.